Good evening, students. I made a quick study guide Nearpod for y'all. Hopefully you can maybe do the Nearpod, then come back and rewatch this and see which ones you got right or wrong, and hopefully correct your errors before tomorrow's test. So I'm just going to do a couple random ones off of this. This is the first page of it. The first one is 5 divided by 1/5. We're using the visual method here. To solve this, I had told y'all, imagine each one of these holes is, say, a candy bar. So this right here would be a total candy bar. Excuse my messiness. And we're going to cut the candy bar into 5 pieces. To do that, we're going to use one less than the denominator. In this case, the denominator is 5, so we're going to cut it 4 times. Each one of these 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for the sake of time, I'll just start counting them for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I could tell you when you cut this next one, if you end up with 30, you got it correct. And the next one, if you ended up with 18 pieces, you got it correct. All right, so let's move on to the next page. This one right here is the next page in the Nearpod. 1/2 divided by 1/4. All right, they've already written the division problem, so we're not going to rewrite that. Then we're going to take the 1/2, we're going to keep that fraction, then we're going to change the division to multiplication, and then we're going to find the reciprocal of 1/4, which is 4 over 1, and we end up with 4 over 2. Now that's a fraction greater than 1, so to solve that, you have to divide your numerator by your denominator. In this case, it's 4 divided by 2, which is real simple, and you'll get 2. Next one, 1/4 divided by 1/12. These are all just regular fractions being divided. So 1/4, keeping that, multiplication to division to multiplication, and reciprocal of 1/12 is 12 over 1. We end up with 12/4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. These all end up with whole numbers on this page here. Some of them won't though. 6/8, 6/8, division to multiplication. Reciprocal of 1/4 is 4 over 1. 24/8 equals 24 divided by 8 is 3. 4/5 times 15/4, 60 for 20, which is 3. And 2/3, sorry about the messiness, 9 over 1. 18 over 3. 18 divided by 3 is going to give us 6. So that page right there is done. Hopefully those are the answers you got. All right, next one. Next page, right here, we're just converting. I threw a page on here, convert your mixed numbers to fractions greater than 1 or possibly improper fractions. They're kind of called both. 10 times 2 is 20, plus 7 is 27 over 10. All right, just to remind you how I do that. Start out at the bottom and you work your way clockwise. Start out with your denominator, multiply it times your whole number. 8 times 8 is 64. Then you add your numerator. Plus 2 is 66. Then you come back and you keep your denominator again, 66 over 8. So 8 and 2/8 converts to 66 over 8. Next one, 3. Start out with your denominator, 3. Multiply times your whole number. 3 times 9 is 27. Plus 1 is 28. We're working our way around right here. 28, so we end up with 28. Then we keep our denominator, 3, 28/3. 12 times 7 is 84, plus 3 is 87 over 12. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 is 21 over 4. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 4 is 25 over 7. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 4 is 44 over 9. 5 times 6 is 30, plus 4 is 34 over 5. So I don't know if there's any actual questions on the tests converting mixed numbers to fractions greater than 1, but you need to know it for the next page. Next page. Here we start doing some division. All right, I'm going to go straight to, we can do this one right here. Rewrite it every time. Rewrite it, rewrite it, rewrite it. Don't take shortcuts. There's only 10 questions on the test. It doesn't take long to rewrite this. So 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5 over 4. divided by. I'm rewriting as a division. 8 is a fraction. 8 wholes is 8 over 1. It's 8 wholes. Now I'm going to rewrite it again. Keeping the original fraction, 5/4, changing the division to multiplication, and then the reciprocal of 8 over 1 is 1 over 8. So I end up with 5 over 32. There's no common denominator of those two, so it's fully reduced, and it's not a fraction greater than 1, so all we can do is that. Next one, this one right here is the 2 times 3, 6 plus 1 is 7. So we're converting our mixed number to a fraction greater than 1. 7 over 2 divided by, keeping as division, 5 times 4 is 20, plus 4 is 24 over 5. Now we rewrite it and flip it. Don't try to double the step up, because that's where everybody messes up. 7 over 2, we're keeping that. Division and multiplication, 5 over 24. We end up with 35 over 48. And there is no common denominator other than 1 for 35 48, so there is no reducing that. Next one, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10 over 3, divided by 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 is 11 over 8, equals, now I'm rewriting it, 10 over 3 times 8 over 11. We end up with 80 over 33. Now that's a fraction greater than 1. So to take that to the proper answer, we have to divide numerator by the denominator. So 80 divided by 33. 33 times 2 is 66. 80 minus 66 is 14. So we have a remainder of 14. We then take the 2, we put the remainder as the numerator over the old denominator, which is 33. Unfortunately, there is no common denominator of 14 and 33, so that's as far as we can take it. So the answer is 2 and 14 33rds. There is a couple word problems on the test right here. Let's go ahead and do those. I got a little page of word problems here. All right, each lap around a park is 1 1/5 miles, as I believe. I think it says 1 and... We're going to skip that one. I can't tell what it says. Maybe you guys can. Mr. Meadows has a 6.5 gallon bucket, so he has a big 6.5 gallon bucket. And he wants to, he's dipping a can that holds 1.5 gallons, so a smaller can. In how many times does he have to dip into the pond with the dipping can to fill the bucket? So he's taking the small can, he's filling it with the big one. So we're going to take the big one and we're going to divide it. 6 1/2 divided by 1 1/2. To do this, 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13 over 2, divided by 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3 over 2. Rewriting it again, 13 over 2, division and multiplication, 2 over 3. And we end up with 26 over 6. Now, that is a fraction greater than 1, so we have to divide 26 by 6. And it's going to be 4, 24. The 2 remaining. So it's going to be 4 and 2 6. All right, this one's finally giving us a chance to reduce. We have to find the common denominator of these two numbers. In this case, it's 2. So we're going to keep the whole number. And 2 goes into itself 1 time, and it goes into 6 3 times. So 4 1/3. Now in this one right here, they want to know how many times he's got to dip the bucket to fill it to the top. Now they want to know how many times he's got to dip it. In this case, it's 5. But tomorrow on the test, I believe we're going to be only looking for fractional answers. But in this case, you actually have to dip it 5 times. All right, let's see what else I got here. So 4 1/3. Miss Jefferson is laying out a photo page. Each photo is cut 3/4 of an inch wide. How many photos can she fit in a row and 3 2/5 inches long if there are no spaces between the photos? So we got a big one, and we're going to be putting some smaller photos into it. You can kind of imagine that. So we're going to take the 3 2/5 as the big space she's got. We're dividing it into areas that are 3/4. So 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17 over 5. Keep the existing denominator. Divided by 3/4. I wrote it. I didn't go straight to division or multiplication. 17/5. Division and multiplication. Reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. 4/3, not 4/4, 4/3. 17 times 4 is going to be 4 times 7 is 28 plus 40 is 68 over 5 times 3 is 15. Now we've got a fraction greater than 1, so now we got to take our 68 divided by 15, and we're going to get 4. That equals 60 with a remainder of 8. So 4 and 8/15. So for the answer to look at on this one right here is you're not going to be able to put more than 4 across because 8/15 isn't going to go with the time. But me personally, I would take either one of those answers, 4 and 8/15 or even 4. Hopefully you stopped and did some of these and then you're just checking your answer right now. If you have any questions, send them to me on Remind, and hopefully you all will do good. Thank you.